Hi, everybody. This is Riri, COO of Penguin Karts. Welcome to the Penguin Colony, where Penguin Karts and Scrappy Penguins will be discussing Kitsumon World and their upcoming land sale on this Friday evening, September 30th. Thanks for joining, guys. How are you tonight?
Hey Riri, that is brilliant to be here. I love it when us guys get together to discuss all things Web3 gaming and our projects. So yeah, thanks for having us. For those that don't know me, I'm Simon, head of marketing here at Kitsumon, and also intro to our awesome community manager, content writer, and has many other hats, I'm sure, Tobias as well.
Hey everyone, I'm Tobias. I'm the community manager and content writer. As Simon said, I work on lots of things, including the articles that we have written for the land sale and all the other awesome stuff I'm sure we'll be looking at later.
Nice. So you're the writer. I'm a writer too, so I appreciate your
Nice.
work. Were you the one that did that white paper?
Yeah, I worked with our designer together on it. I
Oh,
wrote the text for it, basically.
beautiful white paper. Beautiful white
Thank
paper.
you.
Text and images. All right, guys. So, welcome on this Friday evening. Why don't you tell our community a little bit about Kitsumon World first off?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, nice top overview, really. Of course, we're a NFT based game with a play to earn mechanism, but of course, our game is free to play in most aspects as well. It's very important to mention the inclusivity in gaming worldwide. But yeah, from the NFT aspect, it's very interesting. So the kind of whole concept of Kitsuman is a variation of different games actually coming together. One of those being breeding, and we have the professions gameplay, the RPG module, and also the MOBA in terms of the battle arena. So we'll go into a bit more details as we go along anyway about how those kind of all incorporate with each other because there's a nice story to tell. But just some top level elements here. The kitsus, which are the creatures or what some people like to call pets. There are 20 of them. Some very cool 3D visuals of those out now as we enter the game development final stages. But these kitsus are really unique and beneficial. As I mentioned just a minute ago about the breeding gameplay aspect, this is really cool because users or owners of kitsus are able to take two parent kitsus together and essentially breed those two to create what we call hybrid kitsus, and they take elements or attributes or even visual aspects of each of the kitsus into the offspring. And these hybrids have a really cool benefit in the sense that people are able to sell these hybrids on the marketplace, but also I think there's trillions, literally trillions of variations of kitsus that can be created as a hybrid from these kitsu
On your
parents. So
website, they have a math formula for saying it
yeah,
because the numbers must be too big. I see here 7.3 times 10 to the 32nd power. And we all learned in COVID about exponential math. That's a big number.
yeah, I actually think it's multi trillions of opportunities, whether it's the fur of one and legs of another, or the eyes, or this, that, and the other. And within our breeding mechanisms, it's really cool because when a kitsu is bred, on the actual kitsu decks of the hybrid, you can see loads of really cool like combinations of attributes taken from each of the parent kitsus. So it's really cool. And that plays into the hands of the gamers as time goes by. It's not just a breeding platform. We've also got what we call professions. Professions is really smart. There's 6 different professions to choose from. I'll try my best to always remember them. But yeah, cooking, farming, alchemy, fishing, crafting, and I'm pretty sure there is another one. But yeah, there's basically 6 professions, and this is the RPG element, so almost like the career, if you like, of the Kitsumon gameplay in the Kitsumon world. And this will tie nicely into the land conversation further down the line in this AMA. But each of these professions has the different sort of mechanisms that are utilized in the land. So, for example, with farming, I'll just use this as one example, and you can get the idea with the others anyway. But with farming, for example, if you've got a good land full of resource of agriculture, for example, you're able to seed and harvest various produce, or indeed like have utilization of agricultural tools. So when you eventually store these and create the produce, these will be good for things like rehabilitating kitsus after battles, and you'll be able to sell this like produce or food or recipes into the marketplace for other users to buy. And it might be even beneficial for things that people need. For example, in alchemy profession, they might need some of the ingredients that you're producing for some of their potions or some of their alchemist needs for other professions as well. So there's a nice little ecosystem here, which will for sure go into a bit more depth in the land, because actually the land has a bit of stipulation on some lands are good for some professions, but maybe not so good for some professions. And there's
Just like real life.
stipulations of like, yeah, exactly. It is a lot of reality to it, which I know Tobias will be
Boo!
eager to drip into. But yeah, I mean, like it's some really cool stuff there. But yeah, the RPG element of professions can be really exciting, and there's opportunities for building on the land, which
Well, I see your map is
Tobias will
pretty
show you.
diverse. You've got coastline, and it looks like you've got mountains. It looks like you got rivers and lakes and oceans and plains. You've got
Yeah,
deserts in the
exactly, and
middle. Like I'm a
yeah,
desert rat. Like so there's definitely some things that are good in the desert, but not others.
yeah, exactly, and I guess it's probably a good opportunity. I mean, Tobias, do you want to run through? I mean, not obviously maybe like every single biome, but you can probably talk quite nicely about the professions integration and the stipulations and what you can expect from these different lands as an overview.
Yeah, for sure. We have 13 different biomes, of course, without getting into each and every one now. There's the main biome that it's called the Plains biome. It's the one that's the most common, and it's the only biome that actually has no special effects on any professions, and everything's kind of balanced out. So you're kind of able to do any profession you want on it without really having any negatives. So that's pretty good. And then there's I guess, really, since you like the desert, we can talk about the desert a bit. It's very good for cooking because of the heat and there's low humidity. And it's also pretty good for mining as well. But it's hard to, for example, grow farming crops on it because obviously it's the desert, right?
Right.
And there's in the desert you can find something called an oasis biome, which is very rare, and that one is actually pretty good for farming, conversely, and it brings a lot of benefits with itself. But it's difficult to get one because it's very rare. And on the flip side, we also have the snow biome as well, which is very cold, and you get some benefits for mining and even fishing as well. But the snow biome has a unique gimmick where it has a lot of negatives when you're low level. But once you reach level 40 or 50 in some professions, those negatives go away and are replaced with positives instead. That's like the perfect biome for the experienced person, so to say.
Penguins
And to round it
definitely
off,
want to
yeah,
invade your
it exactly.
biome. We love the
And-
cold.
yeah, yeah. And to round it off, we also have the rarest biomes we have is the Void biome, the Moon Touched biome, and the Forbidden Forest biome. And all of those have some very crazy effects that you have to be pretty experienced to make full use of them, and they can be a bit tricky to play around. But if you do, they're extremely powerful. For example, the Void biome is the one I like the most personally. It's a biome that takes the stats from the biomes around it, the ones that border on it, and it takes the stats for itself, but only the positives. So if you own the four biomes next to it, it consumes all the positives from them and has it all on that one biome. So it can have some insane benefits to a lot of
Whoa.
professions.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah,
awesome. And devious.
exactly.
Yeah. And
I
I
like
think as well, Tobias mentioned, or at the beginning as well, what I love about the map is it's so realistic, even with the equator of the map as well. So you can expect various land types, the southern or northern hemispheres, as you would in the real world that we are in today. Uh, well, you might not be, but Elon Musk says we're in a simulation. Who knows? But the world is, based on that kind of equator philosophy, And I think this is really cool because it can affect things like trees and stuff like this,
Mm-hmm.
the quality of water. And it's really cool because actually something I picked up on even our recent video AMA that we did on professions in general is this aspect of like you might need the potions to treat some of the trees because some of the trees aren't so well in some of these areas on the map. So there's loads of really cool, like
Side
thousands of
missions and
different
quests and
variations.
things you can do.
Yeah, yeah,
That kind of reminds me. Okay, you're gonna go really far back with me here, but like Elder Scrolls, Morrowind.
yeah,
I
right.
I could
Yeah.
crack out on that game, and it had what they said 400 hours of gameplay on
Mm.
just that they could count.
I know, and I remember that well actually when it first launched, and literally your character is built on your whole entire path and journey, and every different way you go has a different outcome. And
Uh-huh.
I guess that was one of the very first proper games that developed that kind of concept, wasn't it?
I, probably, probably. This was back when I was getting games when they were coming out, and I was like
Mm.
serious about it. We played that on Xbox. We didn't play the
Yeah,
PC
yeah,
version.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Even when I was a kid, I used to play a game called Return to Zork, and
Mm,
it was a MS-DOS based game, but it was very much around that pattern of make sure you choose the right path and you get the right solutions to the problems, because otherwise you go down the wrong way and you have to start again, kind of thing. But
I
yeah,
played the Oregon Trail on an
nice.
Apple IIe.
Wow, that's cool.
It was my uncle's computer.
That's cool.
Oh, so and the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He also had that game on
Awesome.
there. Yeah, fun. Okay, so you guys have a so you're selling these lands. You got a land sale coming up. When?
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
that's right. Yeah. So, well, actually, the whitelisting is open as of a few days ago, and I know that we'll get you guys detail along with another nice surprise at the end of this AMA. But yeah, for sure, there's a couple of price points to keep in mind. We do have launchpad partners, which are always important to us as well. They will be starting the prices of land at $75. Private sale rounds, i.e., what you can get through our whitelisting form right now, and through partners like the awesome Penguin Karts here, they start at the $85 mark. So there will be batch incremental increases on these prices as time goes by. When the sale eventually starts, it should be early November. We haven't got the exact date yet, but we'll have all the whitelisting and everything done first and the launch pads. But we'll for sure be releasing information in the next week or two about the actual land dates itself, the actual sale dates. But yeah, for sure, the 75 or $85 respectively is far lower than what would be perceived in the auction prices, which we have on our land sale decks that we can share with you guys afterwards as well, which can start from around sort of $200-300. So you're getting a good saving anyway on that aspect. But being an early bird, for sure, you can reap the reward of that and get those early prices. The whitelisting helps massively because you get to be the first ones to grab hold of them. And of course, as I said, the batch pricing will increase over time. So, I think in general, for the actual land aspect, just as an example, batch one being the $85 start price, they can go up to 175, and that's even before the public auction as well. So it's definitely worth getting in early. And also to mention, it's in a mystery box format to keep fairness and randomization the best it possibly can be. So when you get these boxes for 75 or $85 respectively, you don't know which land biome you're going to get, which is really exciting. And that then creates a generation in the marketplace afterwards when people are able to buy and sell land on the marketplace because you might want to trade with someone or buy another one that you perhaps didn't get. So, we're not saying that you just have to buy one piece of land. Of course, you can buy as many as you like. But within that as well is a three-tiered structure to the land themselves. So you've got the 13 biomes, but you've also got three levels of type: standard, special, premium. As you can imagine, the standard is still absolutely fantastic to get yourself started in the career of professions and land ownership. But as you go up in those stages, of course, when you get to premium, you have some really exciting things like the breeding stations. You've got the ability to host and build battle arenas, to host your own tournaments. There's obviously branding and advertising opportunities within those stadiums and arenas that you build as well, and things like increase of storage. So as you go up those tiers, of course, you're going to get a lot more, and that's the beauty of these areas, because when you get to the auction prices, and you're bidding on actual map tiles individually, you've got two stipulations: one of the biome's rarity, but also what tier they're on as well. So it's definitely beneficial to get in at the whitelisting stage to make sure that you're one of the first in the actual sale dates for when these lands become available. I don't think I missed anything, Tobias, but Tobias might have some more extra info on those three-tiered
Yeah,
systems.
I do actually have one thing in which is that you can stake right now on our website, and you can use those stake tokens while they're still locked up to buy in the land sale, and you're gonna get the APY bonus on it as well, which means if you stake now, you can eventually essentially get a discount on the sale itself, so you get it for cheaper than 85 because you get the APY bonus as well to buy with. So kitsumon.com/staking if you wanna get ready for the land sale.
Okay, great. So you can stake your KMC now at a 15% APR and get more land?
Yep,
That's fantastic.
exactly.
Now, what is Torosia? Am I saying it right?
Yep. Do you
Yes.
want me to go into it real quick, Simon?
Please, you will do
All right.
10 times better job than I do.
Yeah, so Terosia, what Simon already touched on is that it's all kind of modeled after the real world with an equator and everything. And it's basically the main continent that professions are going to be happening on and that people are buying land from. So Terosia is like this first main iteration of like a continent on the Kitsumon world, the main continent. And it's going to have all the 13 biomes on it. And when you buy a box, the land you get is completely random in terms of the type and in terms of where it's located on there. So when you get the land card, you're gonna know where that land is on the map basically. So if you want, for example, with the void biome, right? If you say you're super lucky and you get a void biome, and you want obviously then the four biomes that are bordering it, right? Because only then you get the benefits when you own those as well. So you could go on the marketplace and see like, okay, is someone selling this? And you could go and bid for it so you can secure it early for yourself. So that's how that works. You have all the different biomes on there, and yeah, Terosia is basically that. And in the professions gameplay itself, you're gonna be able to free roam around Terosia, around the whole continent. Basically, you're gonna be able to run around. You're gonna even have horses and stuff, so you can move around faster. You can visit your friends' houses and everything. You can explore the overworld, even band together with some people and explore some dungeons as well for some rare items.
Mm.
All sorts of fun stuff.
Whoa, the graphics from Moon Touched are so cool. And the void. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, that was our designer at work. He's doing a very good job.
Oh, he's fabulous. Oh, look at the Forbidden Forest. I was scrolling
Uh,
through all the biomes as you were giving your
I,
speech.
I mentioned as
Nice.
well, actually, the likes of, Sanjay and Vahid, the head game developers and technical, as well as a founder, of course, Sanjay. It's important to mention as well with the aspects of the land, how much, calculation, both all mathematically and all the information about stipulations towards the professions and the resource levels of each piece of land is quite amazing, really. And of course, as gamers, we always get to see the end result. We don't always sometimes see all the work behind it, or perhaps the algorithms and the conversations, the time that's spent on it. So for sure, I will mention and we'll share it with your audience at some point next week. We will have a full biome breakdown with Vahid. It's going to be fantastic and really fascinating to listen to, because he goes into massive depth of how they came to the concepts of these and then eventually built them. We've got to bear in mind that eventually, maybe further down the line when we have VR headsets fully, of jumping into these lands, that this is going to be as real as it gets without being real, if that makes sense. So it's really interesting.
So I'm scrolling here and it says rent your land. So tell me about rentals.
Yeah, sure. Tobias, do you want to run through
Yeah,
that?
sure, no problem. So yeah, you have an in-depth rental system in Kitsumon, which means you can indeed rent out even your land itself to someone. You can set the duration that you want to rent it for, so like, a week, a month, half a year or something, whatever you want to do, and the price that you want to rent it
Holidays.
out for. Yeah. And then you can basically like offer that onto the marketplace, and if someone's interested, they can take you up on the rental. And what happens is that once that land is then rented out, when the rental period expires again, you just have to press a button and you can reclaim it again very easily. So there's no risk involved. And if you're the person renting something, like if you're paying someone to get their land, for example, you can then take this land and rent it out to someone else again if you want. Like let's say,
Sublease.
yeah, exactly. Let's say someone has this rare void biome again, to make an example, and they rent it and they offer it for rental, and they're offering it pretty cheap, maybe because they don't know what they're doing or something. You can go there and you can be like, oh yeah, I'm grabbing this right away, and then you can just offer it for rental again for a higher price, basically.
You built in a mechanism for real estate agents in the metaverse. Wonderful.
Exactly.
That's amazing. I've got some
Yeah,
new
it's
job
also
opportunities for some friends.
yeah, you can
Oh,
scout out the land.
that's some interesting opportunities for income generation there, both passive and active.
Yeah, exactly. And it works for other stuff too. It works for kitsus, it works for all sorts of items as well. I think it won't work for consumables, obviously, because you can't rent them out and then consume them because you get
Don't
nothing
want
back,
those
right?
back.
Yeah, but for items it will be working as well. And you also have the guild system as well, which also implements rentals too, because you have a guild vault, and in that vault you can put all sorts of, if you're like a guild manager or someone high ranking in the guild that has permissions, you can put items into the vault and kind of offer them at a set rate to members, like at a cheaper rate than what you would get on the marketplace, and they can just rent those items out, or even for free, if you want to. You can say put some high level items in there, join our guild. You can use those items for free in return for sharing your profit back to the guild, some percentage of it.
That's ingenious. Now, do you have a rental partner?
So the way rentals will work, I believe, is that it's all a system we've developed in-house.
Nice.
But I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure. But from what I know, as
Okay.
as the content writer,
Ha!
it's in-house.
I'll stop
Yeah.
harassing you now. Content writer, leave me alone. I
I,
haven't
I
written
think
that one yet. Leave me alone.
I think with the as Tobias was saying about the guild management system, this is a really important mechanism in gaming in general. I guess it stems really from the whole concept for many years of team building and clan building, but
Mhm.
with the aspect of play to earn and revenue streams that can be done, as Tobias said, through the kitsus, through the professions, through the land, it gives another level of enhancement that we just don't have in traditional gaming markets right now. The aspect of yes, creating rankings within your own teams, adding new members being able to see what kind of guilds they want to join, having the chats within the groups as well, being able to rent out items, even the items. We haven't maybe touched on the items and things like this, where there's players out there that perhaps don't want to go down the play to earn route as such, but they want to just rent out some items to use for their profession, career, and vice versa. There's a whole magnitude of really cool things that can be done in the guild system, and working as a team, essentially battling in a massive leaderboard versus other guilds as well. There's a whole complete concept and avenue for that area of the gameplay. So we talked Riri in our recent AMA about esports and Web3 gaming, where that's going. Of course, I think with this aspect of the guilds and especially the rental side of things as well, is going to make Kitsumon as well as many other Web3 games really super exciting. I think it's going to be extra ammunition for people to come across from the existing gaming world into Web3, which is what we obviously want to try and achieve collectively. Um, So yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see the development, and for sure we'll share those with you over the next month or so. We should have it done very soon for people to
Nice.
start joining and creating their own guilds.
Our last conversation actually led to a new partnership that we're working on. Thanks a lot for that. The esports
Yeah,
company is fantastic. We've
yeah.
signed
This
an
is this is
MOU.
it.
We're not allowed to mention their name
Yeah, of
until
course,
we're
of course.
done,
I mean,
but we're super
that's the beautiful
excited
thing.
about that.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this space, as we mentioned again as well in our
Yeah,
previous AMA, that in this world, in the metaverse world, the Web3 world, there is arguably no competition. It's more
yeah,
working together to see what we can do together.
yeah.
And that's how the world should be, in my opinion.
Oh, totally. Next week we actually have we've got some guests coming. We've got G4AL, which is an up and coming project. They are still in the fundraising phase. They're a layer one blockchain, and they're simultaneously creating 3 games to showcase everything their blockchain can do. The blockchain built for gamers.
Wow,
Yeah, I'm
that's
super
cool.
excited to have them on. Their leader is 25 years experience in the gaming industry.
Amazing.
Yeah, Baz, our CMO, was looking at their deck and the
Yeah,
team, and I'm like, have we just lost you?
wow,
He's, maybe.
that's so good.
But they have gotten the attention of all the big tier one launch pads. They are an up and coming project, and we can't wait to talk to them next week. And we've got somebody else coming next week. Let's see who else is coming next week. We've got Breach. Breach is one of our partners. That's a they have a social avatar, and your social avatar can run around into different games with you. So we've invited them to showcase one of their avatars in the Penguin Karts game, and maybe utilize one of their avatars as the one of the free characters that you can play with when you start out. We a little bit earlier tonight we released a video of the Warp Starship from their Delgado series. It's in our space track. Um, we've already the game's not even out yet. We've already incorporated one of our partners' NFTs into the game. Um, I'm so excited about where all this interoperability is going. Um,
Yeah.
where are you guys at on your partnership front right now?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like we obviously have you guys been amazing, and that's kind of transpired into many, many other game partners across the board. As you said earlier about this on interoperability aspect, this is really exciting because blockchain and the smart contracts technology allows this magnificent integration of some really cool games. Doesn't mean you have to go and partner with all of them. It has to kind of coincide, not necessarily just for the marketing side, but also like as a game, will this work? Some just might simply not be able to work compatibly, but we know like with the racing aspect, that's going to be super cool to have some combined racing tournaments between Penguin Karts and Kitsumon one day and vice versa, and in each other's battle arenas, in each other's lands as players and users. How cool would that be? Um, and just massive esports battle royales. But yeah, for sure, the partners keep growing, and it's not just, of course, the guild. Sorry, the game partners. We're looking at guild partners,
Mm,
integration partners. I know the one you're talking about with esports,
right.
which you can't mention yet, but those kind of things are what we as gamers always loved over the decades, right? And seeing it now in a position where, oh, I can actually take my stuff with me to other games potentially, or my items, or my actual owned assets, and vice versa. You as a gamer become your own person in a whole entire big gaming spectrum. Hence the word or the name of metaverse. This is the idea that you, as an avatar, you as a user, are the character, but the games are what you jump into with your own assets, with your own items, your own characters. This is a bit of a role reversal because we're usually just given games, of course, but
Right.
as time has gone by, we're now having the power given to us greatly by various blockchain, different blockchains, and now even those can be cross-chained and cross-gamed as well, and it makes it super cool. So yeah, for sure. As these next months go by and the land sale is completing itself, The partners will continue to build and build, especially as we get nearer to the launch of the game, both the professions and the MOBA early next year.
Nice.
And beyond that, because this is how we build. This is how everyone builds in Web3, and this is how the audiences build collectively as well. So, really excited. And I've always said this. I'm not just saying it on here because we're here, but you guys have been absolutely special and awesome for us as a partner. Both coinciding with marketing things, but also we know that there's a vision and a technological ability to bring our games together at some point, and that's
Yeah.
going to be super exciting.
Yeah, we're super lucky too to meet so early on
Mm.
in our stages. Like we've been kind of like skipping along in the building phase,
Mhm.
like tapping things back and forth like ping pong. Like, oh, did you hear about this new
Yeah,
technique? Oh, did you hear about this new company? So it's just been fabulous. Like I've got a meeting on Monday with one of our launch pads. He's from way back. I'm helping another project now with their launch. So he hit me up and he was like, "Hey, I'm an ambassador for a bridge project that has completed their multi-chain bridge, and I want to talk to you about it." I'm like, "All right, let's meet on Monday. Let me know everything, and then I will hook you up." What I told him I want to do is invite all the games in our network on
nice.
one day and let him just present it, and that way we can all just batter him with questions and like have like a little round table and learn from each other.
That would be so cool. And again, that exact point of bringing projects,
Yeah.
teams, integrations together, because this is how the whole metaverse will
Well,
work
yeah, because like I
properly.
want everyone's
Yeah,
opinion on this, not just
yeah,
mine and yours.
definitely.
Like, let's get a group going and
Yeah,
really get the juices
yeah.
flowing. You know?
Yeah, and the other thing as well, maybe even more importantly than any of it, is the gamers, the players
Yeah.
will have the biggest benefit because they will be given the best quality, the best experienced, the best thought out options to them at the
Yeah.
end of it. I think that's really important and really exciting for us as people inside working on this all, but also for the players who get to see the end results and the ones that experience the gameplay, right?
For sure. For sure. Okay. I'm going to open it up to questions from the audience if anybody has any. Does anybody have any questions for Kitsumon, penguin colonies, scrappy penguins, blockchain in general? Any questions, concerns, comments? Please put your hand up. And as you can see by the guests, I've figured out how to get people on stage and how to let people talk. So if any of you have any questions, please let me know now. Raise your hand. I didn't collect any questions before this one because it was going to be focused on Kitsumon. If you guys do have any questions, raise your hand or I'm going to wrap it up. I don't see anything.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
I'm gonna. Oh,
what
wait,
I
I'm
can
gonna.
throw
You're
out.
closing. Hold on.
Oh,
What am I forgetting before? Okay, so we don't have any questions.
I
Um.
think we have one hand up.
Whoa, do we? Oh, we do. Oh, fantastic. Hold on. Invite to speak. Abo hiccups. Hey there. If you're trying to talk, we're not able to hear you. I've got your mic. I see that you have a mic
Alright,
now. Oh,
how
there you
does
are.
the Scrappy Penguin NFT in Kitsumon works?
One more time.
Could you repeat, please?
Yeah, how does the Scrappy Penguin NFT in Kitsumon works?
How does
I th
Scrappy Penguins and Kitsumon NFT works? The Scrappy Penguin is a 3D NFT avatar that will debut in the Penguin Karts game, and then hopefully, when the technology is ready, be able to skip out and go to other games. The Kitsumon NFT is for the Kitsumon World. That's the one we were talking about earlier with like the trillions and trillions of combos and the we're recording this episode so you can rewatch the info on the Kitsumon NFT. But they are the two different NFTs. They don't actually do anything together. It's that the NFTs themselves may be able to travel to each other's worlds in the future. Do you have a follow-up question? Or does that answer you?
That's it.
Okay, super. Anybody else, please raise your hand. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I see no hands. If you think of anything while we're talking, put your hand up. But Simon,
Yeah, I
do you have
think
any?
yeah, just one last point from our side. In the next couple of hours, we'll be releasing on the social platforms the a really cool Gleam campaign. So we'll have some rewards in that as well, for completing that, and also a channeling avenue to whitelist for land of Kitsumon. But also there's whitelisting for the awesome Scrappy Penguin as well, which would be really awesome. So do keep an eye out on that, because there will be a great combination of rewards and things to get involved with, getting early on things as well before they will get minted. Um, so yeah, keep an eye on the socials within the next couple of hours, and we'll for sure be releasing that campaign, and it will last, I think, about 5-6 days. So yeah, we'll make sure that you guys jump in on that, because you won't want to miss out. It's an opportunity to get whitelisted on two brilliant projects, two brilliant aspects of each other's games. So yeah, we'll let you know about more detail of that after the AMA.
Yeah, check it out. When I release the video, I'll also include the links for all of that good stuff, and there will be some sweet prizes in there. Maybe even some. It's like we've got whitelists, and I'm thinking to throw in something special. I'll have some instructions on the video links. Keep an eye
Awesome.
out for it, guys. It's coming in a couple hours. All right.
Looking.
Thank you, Penguin Colony. Thank you, Kitsumon, for joining us this evening, this Friday evening, September 30th. I'm Riri, and we are going to sign out. Thanks again for joining us. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much, Rui. Awesome host as always.
Our
Thank you.
pleasure.